I'm pretty sure when Infinix were coming up with the design of the Hot 40 Pro, they were like, you know what, that iPhone design they love so much, let's put it here. So if they don't want iOS but love the design, they can have it. That has to be how it went down. Now some might even argue Infinix did it better. Believe it or not, there are a ton of people out there who love the fact that they can get this design in such a budget phone. If you doubt it, ask those that convert their single camera iPhones to look like the latest one with 3 cameras. But forget the banter, that's not why we're here. Beyond the design, what lies beneath the Infinix Hot 40 Pro? Do not let the design fool you into thinking it's an iPhone clone. Far from it. You are looking at one of the best budget Android devices Infinix has to offer. A major upgrade from the Hot 30 series we saw earlier this year. Now the Hot 40 Pro is one of 3 devices Infinix is launching into the market. We have the Hot 40, the 40i and the 40 Pro. All 3 having a similar design, but the Hot 40 Pro being the champion of the series. I believe the more affordable Infinix Hot 40i is powered by a Unisoc T606 processor, while the regular Hot 40 sports the same processor as its predecessor, that is the Helio G88. The Hot 40 Pro is where all the hype is happening, as it's the first time we're actually getting a Pro variant for the Hot series if I'm correct, and it brings some specifications worthy of the Pro status for a budget smartphone. The most notable being the use of a 6nm MediaTek Helio G99 processor, which you are going to find on the likes of Samsung's A24, Infinix Note 30 series, Vivo V27e, and a couple other smartphones, all which you are going to find to be in a higher budget category than the Infinix Hot series. The Infinix Hot 40 Pro is priced at 195,900 Naira. Now that's less than $170. It comes in only one memory configuration, that is 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage, which is expandable by SD card. There is nothing new as far as the unboxing experience is concerned. The same packaging as the previous devices with complete accessories. In terms of build quality, the camera bump has a glossy finish, while the rest of the back panel is more matte textured with a nice pattern. The frame is glossy and hosts all its buttons and ports. It is flat and can stand without support. On the power button is where you find the fingerprint scanner, as has been the standard in recent times. It is a responsive one. The Hot 40 Pro comes with stereo speakers, which I must say sounds good. I think it's also a first for the Hot series if I am correct. You can feel the sound reverberation through the back of the phone while holding it. Here's how it sounds. If there's one thing the Infinix Hot 40 Pro lacks, which would have probably placed it one category higher, I'd say it's the lack of an AMOLED display, which is actually not a bad thing, seeing that you're looking at a phone that costs under $180, probably checking other boxes except this one. On the plus side, if I'm correct, there is only one phone available in this region, released this year, that gets an AMOLED display around similar price point, and that is the Redmi Note 12. And you can make a good case for the Hot 40 Pro having a better performing processor in the Helio G99. The display has a peak brightness of 500 nits, and it surprisingly gets fairly bright for outdoor use. It's a good looking LCD display, better than the average. We get a resolution of 1080p with a 120Hz screen refresh rate, which you find makes for a much better experience, especially coming from previous Hot series. I've had no problems leaving it at the default settings where it automatically switches between 60, 90 and 120Hz. It has worked just fine. Now if you wish to prioritize battery life, you might opt for say 90Hz or lower, but I'd say the battery life is just fine when set to auto. Actually impressive in my experience using this over the past week. It's a 5000 mAh battery. The Infinix Hot 40 Pro comes with Android 13 and iOS 13.5. Now that's a bummer, considering that Android 14 is already out and there is no guarantee we are getting that upgrade. That's one area I think Infinix still needs to work on, guaranteed software updates I mean. It might interest you to know that while this remains the typical iOS in terms of features, I've had no ads or notifications pop up intrusively. I actually forgot to do the normal debloating since I've had no ads, but it does come with the regular bloatware applications. Just know that it won't be bothering you with incessant notifications as long as you don't use the apps. Now, should you prefer to keep them, you can always block the notification access if you find them annoying. It also comes pre-installed with some essential Google applications, which seems to be integrated quite well with the Hot 40 Pro, including the default messaging app being Google's Messages. When you set up the Hot 40 Pro for the first time, by default it is set with the Free Fire theme pre-installed. And you can change that from the settings if you want something else. The Hot 40 Pro has a feature called Magic Ring, which is Infinix's own dynamic island. It is triggered when you plug in to charge, receive a call, or use Face Unlock. It doesn't seem like other applications can use it, but it's nice all the same. On day-to-day use, this device works just fine, offering the performance you'd expect from a device powered by a 6nm Helio G99 processor. Calls, mobile data, and Wi-Fi work just fine. I actually found it interesting that this is able to connect to both 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi networks. The haptics here are not subtle, but they pretty much match the expectations of phones you find around this price point. For gaming, the Infinix Hot 40 Pro does great. You can certainly expect much better performance coming from, say, the Hot 30. It offers high touch sampling rates and much better gaming performance than most budget phones. You can play high graphics titles at medium graphics settings and maintain consistent performance for long gaming sessions. With Call of Duty Mobile, I was able to play at medium graphics settings and high frame rates. Since Nigeria now have their own server on the game, you definitely have great gaming experience as long as you have a reliable internet connection. The camera configuration of the Infinix Hot 40 Pro has also seen a major upgrade with the addition of a 108 megapixel main camera. There's a 2 megapixel macro camera and a third is an AI camera. The selfie camera is 32 megapixels. The main camera will surely impress you with its pictures, whether you are shooting in a 108 megapixel mode or the default. The colors look great and there is enough detail and sharpness with the images. HDR processing also does good. It gives a really good background blur with close-up shots. For low-light photos, you might want to manually control the exposure because it won't always give you the best shots. Now, where I found some inconsistency was with the selfie camera. It does good sometimes, but it could use some improvement to the processing of skin tones and highlights. I should also mention that this is pre-release software, so there's a good chance there will be improvements to the final retail version of the software, but the result here should be pretty close to the final. On video, it's able to shoot at a max 2K resolution and 30 frames per second with no stabilization. If you want more stable videos, you can enable ultra steady, but you will have to drop down the quality to 1080p. Okay, hello YouTube. So you are currently looking at a video from the selfie camera of the Infinix Hot 40 Pro. This is 2K 30 FPS. You are also able to shoot at 1080p 60 or 1080p 30. There's currently no stabilization, and 2K 30 FPS is the maximum can go from both the selfie and the rear camera. But you'll be able to get ultra steady if you switch to maybe 1080p 30 and it's going to crop in a bit. But I'm probably going to switch to that so you can see what the quality looks like. But yeah, this is 2K 30 FPS from the selfie camera. It's also going to do max 2K from the rear camera. There is only a single noise cancelling microphone at the bottom. There's none at the top. So let me know what the quality of the video and the quality of the sound looks like. How do you rate it? The Infinix Hot 40 Pro is undoubtedly the best of the Hot series so far, bringing significant improvements to the processor, better camera specifications, while still maintaining the budget category. Granted, the exchange rate in Nigeria makes it seem like a costly device, but in dollars, you are looking at a device around $170. I'll say it's a solid addition to the Hot series, and I'm curious to see what Infinix brings to the next generation, which we may likely see in less than a year. You know, they don't seem to be slowing down with the release of their devices. Now that's all from me.